Hold on, though. Who drove to Mid-Ohio this morning? Was it your mom or Emma? Or because you don't have to be the one driving back.
I know, but I think they already left. I'm not sure if they did or not, but I think they've already decided to go home, which, I totally get. So maybe one of them, I've got a friend, Todd's in, friend with his daughter from New Zealand that I started go-karts with back in the 80s. So it was kind of fun to have him here. And I think they've maybe all decided to go home. So it might be just me driving by myself, maybe a Taco Bell on the way home or something.
Hey, Scott, are you like me? When Crash and I take road trips, I don't let her do any driving at all. I mean, you do all the driving for Emma. Let Emma sit over there and just sleep.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think if I've ever done a road trip with Emma where she's actually driven. I don't think so. One, she kind of gets into these weird. She has like an attention span of a gnat, unfortunately. So, she will be doing 90 miles an hour, then she'll be doing 50, and, that kind of drives me a bit insane. So, no, I would say I drive most of the time.
Yeah, I can't sleep when Crasher is driving because you're right. It's this 90 miles an hour, and you can read the goddamn license plate of the car in front of you.
Yeah, you got to go, man. But she's the same when I drive. She's like, I'm like, why don't you just go to sleep? But she never does. She's like, oh, there's, you're too close to cars, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. It's under control. I can tell you it's under control.
Hey, Scott Dixon, we're celebrating. Well, we just eclipsed our 25-year anniversary of SpeedFreaks, and when
Congrats.
we started, how about
Thank
that,
you.
man? When we started, you're running Indy Lights at the time, and I remember meeting this young kid there on the grid at Long Beach Grand Prix, about to get in his Indy Light car with Derek. Who was his crew chief at the time? Grant? Was
it Daryl Fox or was it Ziggy?
Ziggy
would have been running the lights team. Yeah, I didn't get to Daryl Fox until maybe my first year in kart. Yeah. So 2001. That's right. Yeah. So Ziggy was beating up on me in those days. I actually got in trouble right before that race because I went off track at a test and took some paint off the car, and Ziggy had a bit of a meltdown and actually sat me down for the day. So yeah.
Well, it's bananas looking at what you've done, my friend. The fact that we've survived 25 years and that you're eclipsed on coming up on 60 race wins in the IndyCar series. And I'm not going to bring up AJ Foyt and all these other numbers, but as a father, as a 44-year-old, as I get older, I'm trying to take in more of the experience as I get older. Can you do that now at 44 years old?
Yeah, for sure. The experiences change, right? I think from when you were 20 and your experience after a race win was a little bit different to, your experience after a race win at 44 on a family, right? So, it's not straight off to the pub or the local Connors in Indianapolis. It's to go home and, celebrate with the family. And I think that was what was really special about today was, having Kit there. It's his first in-person race win. So that was very special. I think with about 10 to go, I was thinking, man, he's only going to be able to see a podium, second place, and obviously that changed, with about 5 to go. So that was very special. But my last championship win, luckily we were able to have with Tilly and Poppy, present for that one. But today was very special to have the family here.
Yeah, you also referenced how, and I saw it on social media, Poppy's 16th birthday was yesterday. Yeah. So there's a lot going on with your immediate family. This race team, though, has become such a family over the 23 plus years. So explain also that and how that has changed in your IndyCar career.
Yeah, I think I say it all the time. I've spent probably more time with the people on the team than my actual family. It's been 24 years I think with this team, and it's been very special. I think every year, and to continue this tradition, this year has been special in many ways. I think with what Alex has been doing, obviously all the wins that he's had. The biggest race in the world with the Indy 500. It's been frustrating for us side of the team just because anything that could maybe roll your way just hasn't. It's been really tough, and that was from the first test where we had an engine failure, and then you're going to get engine penalties throughout the season. To the radio being lost at St. Pete, and kind of just finishing second in that race because strategy was slightly off. So. Yeah, the only saving grace has been seeing that everybody at the team has been really happy because everybody's been winning, So kudos to everybody on the 10 and Alex and everybody at the team. It is very much a big family, and to have 7 race wins this year, I think is pretty special. Okay, Alex has got 6 of those, so I've got a little bit of work to do.
But having said that, though, it has been a bit of a struggle in 2025 for the number 9 car. But you wouldn't be as successful in your perseverance without having the solid team family that you do have behind you. There's no jealousy between you and Alex. Your guys don't give up. They just keep pushing forward. That's saying something for a team at the top level, no matter what the sport is.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely not one that, I've been in the sport long enough to know that, some years just, things just don't work out. It is frustrating. It is tough. You definitely have Friday nights, like even this Friday night, where we had some problems with, the hybrid and another engine issue. And, you're kind of way back in the pack of the speed chart. And you're like, oh, another problem, that we've had, throughout the season. So, those moments, I think, are the moments you learn the most. And I remember that in 04, 05 seasons where we just didn't have the speed, crashed a lot. There was probably moments where I didn't even think I was going to be driving the next year. Those years I learned the most about myself, about the sport. And you need those years to learn about yourself, So, yeah, not saying I welcome these kind of years, but, this year has been one of those years.
Wow. Scott Dixon, Mid-Ohio winner, his first race win of the season, joining us here in the Freak Nation Lucas Oil Studios. And I'm running out of space to click off all these Honda wins, man. What the hell's is Chevrolet even on the track, my friend?
I don't know. They've definitely had a rough one. Yeah, pretty interesting. All I can say is kudos to everybody at Honda and HRC. But I think when you look at it, when you've only had 3 drivers win every race this season, I've only got 1, but the other 2 have 3 with Kyle and 6 with Alex. It's been, I would say, an untraditional year for the NTT IndyCar series on that fact. Normally at this point we've had probably 5 or 6 different race winners. So good job for them. The reliability has been fantastic. We've had issues on our side, but they keep pushing hard. They definitely brought a hell of a package this year to the 500, which was needed in some ways, but very pleasantly surprised with that. So yeah, got to say, job well done.
Dixon, we'll end it with this. Probably not. I don't know. Look, you've been in this damn race car for a long damn time. Are you ready for a new chassis?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is, so when I first drove this car in 2011, I think we've been in a situation where we were maybe going to have, a new car 5 or 6 times. So this next one was maybe 25, but honestly, the unless you're going to make some big change that makes the racing better or the performance of the car better, what's the point? You're just going to spend a ton of money. The product is really good, so we'll have to see where it goes. And I think what is really huge for the sport would be adding a third manufacturer. And I think that's a great way to bring in a third manufacturer is, with a new engine spec and obviously a new chassis, then you're not too far behind. So, hopefully that's the focus. And I think that would be really the only reason to bring, a new car.
Does your daughter have her driver's license now?
She doesn't. She was meant to go and do that portion of it last year, so she could actually get her full license on this, when she turns 16. So I know this week or next week she'll be pushing hard to start that process.
If she muffs it up, she's going to drop your name with the.
I just can't wait, man. So I don't have to keep using Uber Eats and all that kind of stuff. She can be my little runaround.
Good boy. Well, buddy, it's a pleasure to get you back in there, man. We always appreciate the time you give us, man. All right.
Anytime. Thanks, guys. Great to see
you, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.